With Peloton now being worth almost $3.5 billion, it's not a shock to anyone that they are among the biggest exercise bicycle manufacturers in the world. So today, let's take a look at exactly what makes Peloton so appealing. The king of bikes. Now, anyone familiar with the company will know that the real reason Peloton makes so much money is because of the online lessons they provide and the services and products that come with all of that. And while all of that is important, and we'll talk about it later, it would be unfair to say that the bikes Peloton makes are anything less than an achievement. From their strong but ergonomic shapes to the highest standard of quality seen in everything from the finishing to the buttons and dials, these bikes are at the core of the Peloton ecosystem, and they all start with the frame. While many people may dismiss the importance of a frame for a stationary bike, it is by far the most important part of the machine, as it not only provides strength, but it also is the thing that all other things get attached to. The process of making this frame starts by taking steel rods, a material that is used because of its high strength to weight ratio, and putting them into a press that puts slight bends into the appropriate places to make the different parts of the frame. These include things like the handlebars, saddle posts, flywheel housing, and the structure in between. Once these individual components are complete, a worker places them in a computerized welding fixture. This machine then joins and welds everything together automatically. In total, more than 20 spots are welded separately, and after this, the frame is ready for finishing. As for the saddle and the handlebar, which are detachable from the rest of the bike, they are welded and finished separately from everything else and only assembled once complete. For finishing, employees first file and polish all the welding points so everything has a smooth finish, and then the completed frames are sent into a sandblasting chamber, which smoothens the surface and gives it that signature textured surface. But that alone is not enough, as the parts also need to be covered with a coating of polymer paint that'll protect the bike against damage and give everything a comfortable and smooth feel. For this, the sandblasted pieces are dipped into a polymer solution that, once dried, will leave a smooth but solid rubbery texture to the frame and handlebars. After that, it's just a matter of printing the company logos, the model number, and any other insignias, and once done, the frame is ready for assembly. So now we can move on to the rest of the parts. The flywheel and belt. The flywheel is the part of a stationary bike that you're pedaling rotates, and it's what gives the sense of actually riding a bike instead of you just turning pedals around a shaft. As a result, it would be fair to say that having or not having a proper flywheel can make the difference between having a good or a trash exercise bike. For this purpose, Peloton likes to use the best of the best. These flywheels, unlike normal cast iron ones, are made of aluminum, giving them extraordinary strength, while also allowing them to dissipate heat more efficiently. Something that's very important when you're talking about a machine that basically runs on friction. These flywheels are cut out of a few centimeters thick sheets of aluminum, with each individual wheel weighing around 38 pounds. And once cut, these flywheels are polished to make the surface as smooth as possible to reduce air drag. The edge of the flywheel is, however, given a special thread, as it will be the place of installation for the transmission belt. This is the belt that connects your pedals to the flywheel, much like how a chain works on normal bikes, and is made of a thick texture rubber for maximum attachment. Finally, to finish the flywheel off, a worker places a company decal on the surface, attaches the completed belt around the rim of the wheel, and adds very high quality ball bearings to the middle of the wheel for attachment later. After this, the wheel can be attached to the frame, but before that can happen, a few more parts also need to be ready, namely the pedals and brakes. Peloton bikes are famous for having some of the most advanced pedals of any exercise bike in the world. And part of the reason why that's the case is that their pedals allow you to clip in their proprietary shoes for the best grip while cycling. These are made of aluminum, with an axle made up of steel for extra durability. All the while, the entire thing is covered with a rubberized finish for a good grip in case you're not using the proprietary shoes. These pedals, along with their steel bars, are attached to a disc called the pulley disc that'll go inside the bike and will be the point of attachment for the transmission belt. So after a worker inserts the right bearing into the crank, it can gently be tapped into the bike frame. From here, the pedaling part of the bike is almost complete with the exception of the brakes. You see, the thing that adjusts how hard you have to pedal is a specialized magnetic brake that, as it gets closer to the flywheel, magnetizes it and slows down the spinning. These brakes are called resistance brakes and are installed directly onto the frame right next to where the flywheel will be attached. And with this done, we can finally move on to the assembly. Here, a bunch of skilled workers start working on individual bikes. First, they attach a circuit board inside the bike near the brakes to control the resistance of the magnetic brakes. These are then attached to the brakes as well as the adjustment knob near the handle. For this, the wires are threaded through the hollow frame, all the while the worker uses special attaching points to make sure that the wiring stays in place. From here, the worker moves on to the transmission. First, he installs the flywheel onto its axle and then uses a clamping lever to temporarily stretch one end of the transmission belt so the other side can be looped around the pedals. These pedals are brought together with their pulley disc, which is gently tapped into place by using rubber mallets. Then, the worker loops the open end of the belt, loops it around the disc, and clamps it with the original end. The tension is adjusted and checked by strumming it to see if it sounds correct, and once it passes, the belt can finally be fixed permanently. After this, the worker moves on to the handlebar, where apart from the rubber grips is attached probably the most important Peloton feature, the tablet. As you all know, the charm of the Peloton bike is the video classes and digital ecosystem surrounding them that allows users to feel as if they are in an exercise studio, all from the comfort of their own home. And all of that is accessed through their proprietary tablets. These are built on contract by the same companies that make many of the world's most important smartphones. It is also interesting to note that these also run the same operating system as your smartphone, that being a proprietary version of Android. They can come in two sizes, a 21.5-inch HD screen for the regular bikes, as well as a 24-inch HD screen for the Bike Plus. And they have all the features that you can expect, from a front-facing camera to an HDMI port for attaching it to a larger screen, as well as USB points for adding music or connecting the tablet to your phone. And once in the factory, they're attached to the handlebar using a steel attachment point that makes sure that the tablet does not fall down or get damaged accidentally. After this, the bike is basically complete, as parts like the water bottle holder, handlebar caps, and other small items are attached, which means we can finally move on to testing. Part of the reason why Peloton is so successful is the level of commitment they have to quality, which is why before they can reach the customers, all the completed Peloton bikes have to be tested in the factory. For this, they're placed in a testing station where a computer measures the bike's resistance, flywheel motion, and other such things. And once that is complete, the bike can be wrapped in bubble wrap and shipped off to millions of users worldwide. Click on one of the two videos on your screen right now. We'll catch you guys in the next one.